The foundation of PepsiCo was laid not in a corporate boardroom, but in the entrepreneurial calculations of Caleb D. Bradham, a pharmacist in New Bern, North Carolina. Recognizing the burgeoning market opportunity presented by the success of early carbonated beverages, Bradham began experimenting with different concoctions in 1893. His final formulation, initially known as Brad's Drink, was a blend of carbonated water, sugar, vanilla, rare oils, and cola nuts. The beverage was officially renamed Pepsi-Cola on August 28, 1898, a nomenclature that alluded both to the popular cola segment and its purported digestive benefits, derived from dyspepsia, meaning indigestion. The initial business model was asset-light and focused on the sale of concentrated syrup. The company quickly gained popularity among patrons at Bradham's drugstore soda fountain. This instant success prompted Bradham to shift his focus entirely toward developing Pepsi-Cola into a commercial entity. The Pepsi-Cola Company was officially incorporated in 1902. The initial quantifiable revenue stream derived from syrup sales. In 1903, the company sold 7,968 gallons of syrup. This initial traction necessitated an increase in production capacity. In a key early financial decision, Bradham purchased a building in New Bern, North Carolina, known as the Bishop Factory, for an investment of $5,000 in 1904, moving all bottling and syrup operations to this dedicated location. Sales nearly tripled in that year, increasing to 19,848 gallons. The first monetization plan relied on scaling production via a decentralized franchise system, with the first bottling franchises established in Charlotte, North Carolina and Durham, North Carolina in 1905. B. Early financial instability and causal crisis. Despite this early prosperity, the initial business model harbored a critical flaw: extreme vulnerability to commodity price fluctuations. The company's success rested precariously on stable input costs, particularly sugar. Following the volatility induced by World War I, Bradham engaged in unsuccessful speculation regarding wildly fluctuating sugar prices. This catastrophic exposure to commodity risk led to repeated financial collapse, with the company facing bankruptcy multiple times during the 1920s and subsequently reorganizing in 1931. The depths of this early financial failure are underscored by the fact that the company's management, in a state of desperation, approached its primary competitor, Coca-Cola, on 3 separate occasions between 1922 and 1934, offering to sell the company outright. The rejection of these offers by Coca-Cola proved to be a pivotal error for the industry leader, as Pepsi-Cola was ultimately resurrected under new ownership, demonstrating that the structural fragility stemmed from poor financial management and commodity hedging, not a lack of product appeal. 2. The Depression Breakthrough, the growth engine and scaling strategy. A. Value pricing as the engine of resurrection. The scaling strategy that pulled Pepsi-Cola out of bankruptcy and established it as a national contender centered entirely on a radical pricing model adopted during the depths of the Great Depression. Under new leadership, Pepsi's managers recognized that Americans, ravaged by economic crisis, would prioritize value. The strategic pivot, implemented in 1934, was straightforward yet revolutionary. Pepsi offered a 12-ounce bottle for the price of 5 cents, directly matching the nickel price of its competitor, Coca-Cola, which was still selling a significantly smaller 6.5-ounce bottle. This aggressive value proposition was instantly successful, proving irresistible to depression-weary Americans, and sales skyrocketed nationally. The financial impact was transformative. By 1936, the company's year-end profit surged to $2,100. The decentralized distribution system rapidly expanded its footprint, adding 94 new U.S. franchises in 1936. This established Pepsi's identity as the challenger brand focused on economic value, a positioning strategy that secured its survival and allowed it to gain traction in an entrenched market. The company's net earnings continued the sharp upward trajectory during the post-war era, increasing 11-fold during the 1950s, leading to sales reaching $11.5 million by 1958. B. Scaling to billions, the conglomerate strategy. The shift from being a successful, albeit second-place, beverage company generating millions in revenue to becoming a multi-billion-dollar global powerhouse was achieved through a foundational corporate strategy, diversification through acquisition. The pivotal moment occurred in 1965 with the merger of the Pepsi-Cola Company and Frito-Lay Inc., creating PepsiCo. This merger transcended the traditional bottling franchise model by integrating a high-margin, fast-moving consumer packaged goods business, snacks, with a high-volume competitive beverage business. This merger introduced structural stability, effectively creating an entity that was financially hedged against the extreme volatility and fierce competition endemic to the soft drink market. It provided a dual-engine structure that allowed revenue multiplication from the millions achieved in the 1950s into the billions witnessed today, reaching $91.85 billion in annual revenue in fiscal year 2024.